West Highland, it's good to talk to you again. A couple things. Tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, we're going to have another GOTA meeting. And what I want to do with that is really kind of simple. We're going to have a short little devotional, and then we're going to talk. We're going to let you talk about what you're doing. And we can talk with each other, but just a time to share together for about an hour. To be at 7 o'clock. We'll send you the link in this communication, so you will have that. And it'll be just great to sit down and just talk with each other. I hope you're doing well. We're praying for all of you. We've talked with most of you, and we'll do that again. But just continue loving Jesus and loving people around you as best you can during this time. We're in the book of Acts, and today we're looking at the 10th chapter of the book of Acts, which is really an exciting chapter. It's the story of Peter and Cornelius, and it's always a story. Remember, Peter was the one that Jesus gave the keys to the kingdom to. It's my thinking, and I hope it might be yours as well, that when he gave him the keys to the kingdom, there were really two keys that were given to Peter. The first key was a key that was given because he was a preacher to the Jews, his people. But he also was the one that opened the door to the Gentile world. This is what this passage of Scripture is all about. Cornelius was a Gentile, and Peter was the first one. God prepared Peter. God prepared Cornelius, and you're going to see that preparation here. It's through prayer that they met one another, and Cornelius called for Peter to come and talk with him. And when Peter came to do that, Cornelius brought his whole household together. And Peter not only preached at Pentecost to the Jews, but here he preaches another sermon to really just strictly a Gentile audience. And then Cornelius becomes the first Gentile that's baptized. So when Peter's preaching, he's preaching both to the Jews and now he's preaching to the Gentiles. This is just a marvelous passage of Scripture. And I hope you enjoy it as you look at it. But it also is a passage of Scripture that speaks to our prejudices and this vision that they had of animals that came down in the sheet. And I have a story that I really liked. It was from Boyce, was the pastor of 10th Presbyterian Church, was sharing it about Ironside, the previous pastor. And he says, Ironside tells a story of his father who was dying. And he was dying, he kept muttering something to himself, and no one knew what he was saying, and the family was there, and they couldn't quite understand what he was talking about, but they finally got it. Ironside was thinking about this vision that was in Acts chapter 10, about the sheet with animals, and he was saying, a great sheet with wild beasts and things, and he kept muttering something, and they couldn't quite understand what he was saying. Well, what are you muttering? And he kept on doing it, and finally someone understood, and they leaned forward and they said to him, John, it says creeping things. And then Ironside smiled, and he says, that's how I got in. Just a good-for-nothing, creeping thing. I got in, saved by grace. I got in, saved by grace. And I want to tell you, hey, if I got in, God will let anyone in. And we're all saved by grace. And that's what this chapter is about. It's just a great opening of the gospel to anyone and all, because that's the heart of our God. So enjoy that as you read it today. If you haven't already, take a look at it, think about it. But we commend that to you. We look forward to talking with you tomorrow night. God bless you, and we're keeping everyone in our prayers. Bye-bye.